late game execution.
No, ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah.
I always wondered, like, whenever you make a video about LeBron, right? You got his stands out there, always, saying dumb crap they always say. Oh, he must be making LeBron videos. He must be broke. Oh, he must need the money. He must need this. And I just find it goofy every time they say that, because I don't think these guys realize how YouTube works. It takes a minute to make some money on here. And it probably takes years to live off that. There's a lot of YouTubers that live off the YouTube money and got all these fancy houses, but that requires a lot of dedication to sacrifice. Something I don't have is one of the main reasons why I said, I don't want to talk about the NBA. I don't want to talk about basketball anymore like that. It takes too much time. Not just to be famous and be streaming a football game on YouTube last night or anything like that with the Chargers and Chiefs. No, just to put out this message. After a while, it gets tiresome. But anyways, maybe all I needed was just a few months off. We'll see. But in regards to this current situation of Kawhi Leonard and Steve Ballmer, you know what? You know how I feel about this? I simply don't care. I just don't care. Even when I first heard this news, I realized, I'm like, why? First of all, why Kawhi Leonard? They try to expose. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of other players, and not even just the NBA, and other leagues, even in the individual sports, there's some type of money under the table deals going on. So why are we acting brand new and acting like we born yesterday with this whole thing? But I do say this about Kawhi Leonard. It's a surprise that is surrounding Kawhi Leonard. That is a surprise. But also at the same time, I get why some people will be not happy with him, because since he came to the Clippers, he's believing this whole load management. He's pretty much been the face of load management since he's been on the Clippers. Well, maybe not the Clippers, since San Antonio maybe. But since San Antonio, he's been the face of load management. So I get that part. But frankly, I just don't give a damn. Now I saw Steve Ballmer's little interview on ESPN. He's acting like he doesn't know what's going on and all that stuff, and trying to put his innocence out there. And yeah, sure. I'm going to say this now, because this shouldn't be any surprise. Most people who have that type of money like Ballmer and businesses, not so much shady, but they got to run some shady practice to get to the top. Allegedly. We're going to say that. Allegedly, they have to, or they going to. But I ain't putting that all on CEOs and billionaire CEOs and owners. But you got to do something, a little something to get to the top like that. Something shady. But as far as like paying an extra $28 million so you can get a player to your team, I'm like, I don't know how many other teams or team owners have done that. So let's leave to my next thing, because I know the Latar's gonna get pissed off, but I really don't give a damn, because we all like seeing when they get pissed off. Until LeBron is investigated for all his shady dealings, including this whole clutch sports media and having his talons and tentacles and everything, I don't care about what Kawhi Leonard and Steve Ballmer did. I really don't. And I think Terrell's also echoed the same thing. LeBron James needs to be investigated for all his shady dealings. And I think earlier today, I didn't watch the video, but I think I saw Ticket respond to that. And it's probably some, whatever he knows. He thinks he knows, but whatever. But, yeah. Until LeBron and others investigate, I don't care what Kawhi Leonard did. I really don't. What Kawhi Leonard did damaging? Taking money to the table? No. Now, what is damaging that Kawhi Leonard has done, which probably does tie into this a little bit, yeah, is the low management. Taking games off as much as he has done. What's really damaging to the league is not so much players taking money on the table, which can lead to this, like I said, low management, but the lack of enthusiasm and the downward spiral of this sport, mainly not of the sport, but of the league in general, has been more damaging to the NBA, of course. And all the other shenanigans that these players have done. Not taking the game seriously. Low managing for an all-star game. That was a new one that was not in my bingo card. But, yeah. I simply don't care. And I think this Pablo Torres has something on Jalen Brunson where, I don't know the exact story, but I guess he could have took a lot more money when he re-signed or got the extension, but took less. I'm thinking in my head like, so. But it's probably a reason why they want to investigate LeBron. Because I think the last time someone tried to investigate LeBron in the Lebalco scandal, allegedly somebody went missing, from what I read. So they avoid LeBron altogether. So they got to take on, I wouldn't say lesser players, but other players. So I bet you everybody who's part of the Clutch Mania Sports probably will never be investigated. We have seen instances where the Clutch Sports, not agents, but people who are signed to the Clutch Sports, they got off easy on certain things, like Mikal Bridges, or Miles Bridges, not Mikal Bridges, Miles Bridges. Miles Bridges, this whole domestic thing that he had going on. He only had to serve like 10 games or something like that. Compared to like someone who John Morant had to serve 26 games or half a season due to flashing the Roscoe. But then again, John Morant was warm once and he did it again. But still, that type of stuff. And I have to agree with Turon in 78. The downward spiral of Russell Westbrook's career has something to do with LeBron too. Much as people don't want to admit that, but it had something to do with now the guy can't even get on the team. I wish the Bucks would sign him for the veterans minimum, just to be, the extra dog, the extra motivator to get that team going. But Westbrook's career is just, I gotta make a separate video about that, because now that I think about it, I'm getting pissed off thinking about it. He should not be almost out of the league because of this. But anyways, yeah, I don't care about what Kawhi Leonard did. I really don't. Until that freaking fraud king, fake forever king, is investigated, I don't care what any other player does in terms of taking money on the table. Now, they do some other unrighteous, wretched stuff, then yeah, I would care. Criminal type stuff. But taking money on the table, nope, I don't care. Having a sit-in job, don't care. Like Kawhi living out here taking money at the table with a sit down job like he part of the Sopranos. But yeah, don't care. Don't care. Nope. Don't care what Kawhi did. Investigate LeBron. I know his face. He's going at LeBron. Nope. You know what? Before I leave, you know what? What's my biggest issue surrounding the circus? It's not really just him. I might have said this before in the past. It's not just LeBron. No, it's just freaking dog-headed ass fans that get on my nerves more than anything. They get on my nerves. They are so annoying. But if I said that, nah, then again, they ain't that smart anyway. So never mind. I was about to say, don't let them know you're annoyed, but no, they don't know I'm annoyed. They're just stupid. But anyways, but that's all I gotta say about this Kawhi Leonard thing. I ain't gonna say nothing else about it unless something really big comes out. But yeah, don't care what he did. Don't care what he did. That's what I mean. Because you know somebody's gonna be saying, "Oh, you don't care? Well, you ain't making a video about it." I mean, I don't care what he did. It's not a big deal to me. Idiots.